and include that here in your design notebook. All right, so now this is what we'll talk a little bit more about here, is creating your car on Tinkercad. Okay, you're going to log into your Tinkercad class. We're going to, like we mentioned, copy and paste the Dragster body into your Tinkercad account. And then again, same thing as creating it out of wood. We want to make sure we follow our plan and design our Dragster. All right. So first thing that we are going to do is we want to log into our Tinkercad class, and there's a link right here that you can click on. Click on this link to get into your Tinkercad class. So go ahead and click on that and get logged in. Pause this video and then restart this video, and we will move on with this. All right, once you are logged into Tinkercad, you should be in your just kind of your recent designs here on your page. We don't want to create a new design because we're going to give you a template that you can start from, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. So now that you are logged in, let's go back to our design notebook. When we go back to our design notebook now, we want to open this 3D Dragster template. And so when you click on this link right here, that's going to take you to a template that looks like this image right here on the right-hand side. So the top button is going to say Copy and Tinker, and that's what you want to do. And when you click on that Copy and Tinker button, it will automatically create this project for you in your account. All right? So go ahead and click on that, pause that video, click on this link right here where it says 3D Dragster template, click on this site. Once you get to that in Tinkercad, you're going to see this Copy and Tinker. And then once you click on that, we will continue with what's next. So go ahead and pause the video and do those things. All right, now that you have clicked Copy and Tinker, you have your block of wood. You have your starting position. All right, and so you are going to now design your car. Now, the first thing that we want you to do is change the name of this. This says Dragster template. So what we would like you to do is actually replace the word template with your name. Okay, oops, come on. Can't do it there. I'm just going to backspace. There we go. Replace it with your name. Okay, once you have that done, now we can start working and designing. Now you'll notice a couple things. If I spin this around to look at it from the back, notice there's already a hole that's created here. That is the air hole. That's what's going to attach to the air compressor to power your car down the track. That's important. Let's leave that alone. The second thing that you see here are these, the axles. There's a front one and a back one. Okay, those axle holes are not quite holes yet because you might need to move them depending on how you decide to design your car. Now this is, if you were to measure this, or if you explore in Tinkercad and measure this, this is 7.5 inches long. That's the start, that's the same start as the block of wood that you'd get in the classroom, 7.5 inches long. Now you know that from our specifications that we can make this 6 inches. We can cut it down and make it shorter. And if that's the case, if I want to make this 6 inches long, this car, remember I don't want to cut off the back over here because then I'm cutting off the air hole, so I want to make sure that I'm doing that to the front. I'm cutting this off. If I want to do that, I'm going to have to move these wheels back where the wheels go. So I could click on that, I can use my arrows, and you can see I can just move that, scoot that where I want it to be. Okay, so these are not actually holes yet. Once you get those wheels in place and you have the car the length that you want it, the body, the length that you want it, then, oops, let me go back here. Didn't want that to happen. Then you can grab both of these. You can say, okay, I'm going to take that object right there. I'm going to use the Shift key. I'm going to take the wheel right there, Shapes 2, and I can group them together. And then that will make the actual hole. And you can see I did that with the back. There you can see that there's an actual hole there where the back wheel is going to go. And I would want to do the same thing with the front wheel once I get that set in place as well. And that all is dependent on the length of the car that you actually want. Okay? After that, you're going to use your Tinkercad skills now and you're going to design your car. Go back to your drawings. You're going to go back to your drawings, your final drawing, and decide, okay, what was that shape like? What were the measurements? And you're going to make this car the way that you want it to be. Now we want to make sure that as you are designing, that if you have questions or something doesn't seem to work out, make sure you reach out to us as teachers. We are here to help. If you did something that doesn't really, it's, hey, I didn't want that to happen, so let's say I wasn't ready to have those grouped. Use the undo arrows. Okay? As soon as you do something, if you recognize, hey, that's a mistake, use the undo arrow and go back and just start again. And this is design, so sometimes it's going to be a trick. It's going to be tricky for you. But we want you to keep working through it. We want you to not give up. All right? Once you are done and you have your car completely done, you're going to go back to your design notebook and you are going to take a screenshot of your completed 3D model dragster for your design notebook. So I have one that I finished before, so I'm going to include the screenshot right there. You can see there is my dragster that I completed, and now that's what's going to be printed off on the 3D printer so that I can test it out next class or when I get finished with this. All right. After you've done all that, after a couple days, you see you have your summary again. Make sure you write what you accomplished and you learned, and you can kind of do this as you go as well. If you're in the middle of something like, oh, I just learned something, go ahead and type that, here in your summary. And then you see the end of days 6 and 7. All right, so at any point, again, if you have questions, make sure that you reach out to your teacher. Design your car in Tinkercad till you have it what you want it. Take a screenshot, and then we will get those printed off so we can actually race them and drive them on the track. All right, so if you have questions, reach out to your teacher. Have fun with this. I know all of you can design a super fast car. So let's go ahead and do that and enjoy doing this, whether it's in making it out of wood using the shop tools or whether it is printing it and making it on Tinkercad. All right, reach out if you have questions, and we will see you guys next time.